Hello, it's Jo here again from Shalem Health Retreat, and today we have an amazingly delicious recipe for you. I have to confess, I am a bit of a sweet tooth, and we are going to make today some delicious carob fudge balls. So yeah, get ready, and I'm sure you will definitely want to be making these at home. Fantastic to make these with the children or the grandchildren. They will just love them, and they do like getting involved in the kitchen. So make sure you get the children involved, and I'm sure that they will just love this recipe. So the first thing we want to do is we want to add some dates. Obviously, bliss balls are very sweet, so we've got lots of sweetener here. We've got some dates, 1 cup. Just make sure they're pitted because we're going to put them in the Thermomix, or you could use a food processor for this recipe. So 1 cup of dates. Then we've got half a cup of sultanas. So some dried fruit in here is going to give us our sweetness. In the Thermomix that goes. Now we've also got some seeds, so we're going to be using some sunflower seeds, half a cup. Sunflower seeds are an excellent source of vitamin E, which is very good for skin conditions, and it's also got it's loaded with minerals, iron, phosphorus, magnesium. So yeah, make sure you include some sunflower seeds in your diet every day. Very healthy. So half a cup goes in there, and then we have some shredded coconut that we're also going to pop into the Thermomix. Again, half a cup of shredded coconut. So we're just going to pop those onto blend now and just quickly blend those up for a little bit. Don't want to blend them too much, but just enough so that it's going to make it easier once we get all those other ingredients in there to blend them up. Okay, so there we go. We've got our dates, our sultanas, our sunflower seeds, and coconut in there. So next we're going to add some sesame seeds. Now sesame seeds are a fantastic source of calcium. And so yeah, definitely make sure you include some of those in your diet every day as well. So we've got half a cup of sesame seeds. And next we're going to include some carobs. I'll talk a little bit more later on about the benefits of carob and why we use it. 3 tablespoons of carob powder. And that's going to give it that lovely chocolatey flavour. We want some honey, so make sure you're using raw honey. Try and find a beekeeper local to you so that you can use raw honey instead of the ones you buy at the shop, which are processed and have additives in them. We just want the raw honey. So let's pop that in. That's 2 tablespoons of raw honey that we're going to use. And now these next 2 ingredients are going to give us that fudgy flavour and texture. So we've got half a cup of peanut butter. I like to use the crunchy. So we'll pop that in there. And then we've got tahini. So tahini is just the ground up sesame seeds. As I said earlier, a fantastic source of calcium. People often say, how do you get calcium on a plant-based diet? But it's very simple. As long as you have whole plant foods and a variety, you will get plenty of calcium. All right, so we've got 1/4 cup of tahini. That's just going to go into the Thermomix as well. Now, if you don't have a Thermomix, you can use a food processor. Wouldn't use a blender for this recipe, but certainly a food processor will do the job as well. Or you could even just chop up all of the ingredients really finely and just pop it in a bowl and mix it up. That would be completely suitable. And we're just going to add 1/8 teaspoon of Celtic salt, and that's just going to enhance all of those flavours. So let's just pop that in there. All right, back on with the Thermomix, and we'll show you the finished product. Okay, so let's have a look inside and see how it looks. Oh, that is looking sensational. These balls are very easy to form and shape, and they're fantastic to freeze. Now remember, these are going to be very calorie dense, as healthy as they are with all of these natural beautiful plant foods that God has given us. We do want to be sparing with them. We don't want to guts them all down in one sitting. So yeah, you can keep them in the freezer. They will freeze very well. And you can also give them away as gifts to friends who will love you for it. So there we go. Let's see now how these balls are going to form up. If you're finding it's a bit too crumbly, just add a little bit of water. Not too much though. Maybe start off with a couple of tablespoons of water. But these are looking pretty good. Now, I want to show you what you can roll them in. So you can either just leave them plain like that. They look beautiful. There you go. They look beautiful just as they are. Or you could, to really impress your friends, roll them in sesame seeds, like so. Or desiccated coconut, or you could even use shredded coconut, which we've got here, desiccated or shredded coconut. That's just going to make them look pretty. And my personal favourite, carob. Now, I was going to tell you about carob. Why do we use carob instead of cocoa or cacao? The reason is that those other two that I mentioned have caffeine in them. And so actually we recommend to our guests that they, as much as possible, avoid caffeine. It is a drug and it does have detrimental effect on our brain, especially the neurotransmitters, our messaging systems. They interfere with that. So carob is a fantastic sweetener and gives it that chocolatey flavour. It's full of B vitamins, and yeah, it just doesn't have any of the nasties that caffeine does. So I definitely recommend that you give carob a go, especially in this recipe, because you've got all of those other flavours. And if you've tried carob before and you don't really like it, I would definitely recommend that you try this recipe and see how it goes, because yeah, certainly with children, you know, we want them to be having good wholesome food with none of the nasties. So there we go. We have our carob fudge balls in all of our different things there that we've rolled them in. So I would definitely recommend that you try these at home. Your family will love them.